A week or two ago, I suggested altering one word in the gospel. I thought it was a better word, so presumptuous. But today I'm going further. I say reject the whole gospel about the Good Shepherd. Just dump it. Dump it. Because there's something better. It's called GPS. GPS. Do you know what GPS is? Oh my God, we're illiterate. GPS, it's the little device that you have on your phone or in your car, and you need to get from this point to that point, so you say, GPS, help. And you put in the address, and then it tells you how to get there. Now, some just show the map, but mine is wonderful. It shows the map, and it looks like a landing pattern on an airfield. This big arrow in the road's large, and it curves like this, and then I have a voice say, in 500 feet, turn right. Turn right in 20 feet. Turn left in a quarter of a mile. And it keeps speaking to me, telling me how to get there. Now, GPS is good. And if you should see a blockage in the road, you get off the highway, it'll keep trying to reroute you back to that point because it doesn't know. And then eventually, if you keep going far enough, it will reroute you. And it's logically taking you from this point to that point the most direct way. But there's something better. It's called... No, I'm talking about on the computer. It's called Waze. It's an app. Now, I don't have it, but a lot of my friends have told me about it. It not only gets you there the most direct way, but it's in constant communication so that if there's a sinkhole that suddenly appears and 3 cars drop down, within a couple minutes, they alert the satellites come back down and say, get off the highway, there's a sinkhole. So you get off, and then it reroutes you now the most direct route. It notices everything. Traffic congestion, sinkholes, police activity, a road that's closed, and it alerts you up to the minute. It's amazing. So, I'm sorry, Good Shepherd, we have Waze now. However, Waze doesn't do a few things. Waze doesn't know your heart, doesn't know your likes and dislikes. For example, when I drive, I like going through dilapidated neighborhoods. I can't tell you why exactly. I think there's something, it's like it has a story to tell. And when I go, I intuitively connect with this story. What happened here and why this and that's burned out? And most people avoid them, but I like to go through them. I also like, over in Pasadena, they have a bunch of streets with these trees that have grown together, and it's like a tunnel of trees. And it's just remarkable to drive through these areas. I also like a lot of architecture, old, classic, and very modern. And I will drive out of my way to pass by architecture that I've seen a lot of times just because it gives me a cheap thrill. I love it. So Waze can't help me there. So I guess I have to go back to the Good Shepherd after all. Because the Good Shepherd says, I know my sheep and my sheep know me. We know each other's voice. I mean, he even says in this one, he has the other flock he'll call out, and just because he'll call them, they'll all come together. There'll be one shepherd, one fold. Amazing. The Good Shepherd, we are told, Jesus, knows our hearts. But listen what the scriptures say today. They all work together very beautifully. The first reading, the apostles now, after Jesus has died, risen, ascended to the Father, and the Spirit of God has been poured out all over this early church, and they're going around doing miraculous things. Today they heal a cripple, and the people start to get all excited about them. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If I ever walked by a crippled person, I said, be healed, and they got up, don't you think that would be intoxicating? I say, I did that. Oh, touch my hand, touch my hand. The apostles didn't get intoxicated. In fact, they corrected them to say, you want to give us the praise? Forget it. The one that you killed, Jesus of Nazareth, it's by his power and his alone. And they didn't have swelled heads. They felt connected to the Lord. This Good Shepherd had shepherded them into being able to share in his healing powers. And they gave all the credit to Jesus Christ. And in it, they also quoted the psalm that was in our psalm today. The stone rejected by the builders has become the cornerstone. And it's through the death and resurrection, through the rejection, that the great power of Jesus on the cross, when resurrected, becomes this overwhelmingly saving mystery for us. And then in the second reading, we're told that now we even know ourselves differently. Because of Jesus Christ, this Good Shepherd, we have been shepherded to a place where we can say, we're children of God now. What an extraordinary thing to say. We are children of God now. That's quite an acknowledgement of ourselves. But when we get into the gospel, which then is really the context for all of this, Jesus tells us, I'm the Good Shepherd. I'm not like a hired person who takes care of the sheep, but when a wolf comes, they run away. Then the sheep get scattered and eaten. No. They're getting paid. They're doing it for pay. They don't have any love in this. But these are my sheep. I know them, and they know me. And even those not of this flock, they will come to me. I will shepherd them all. There is a song, I don't know if we're doing it today. I hope we are. They did the last Mass. It's one of my favorites by Marty Hagen. It's, Shepherd me, O God. And the verse that keeps repeating says this, Shepherd me, O God, beyond my wants, beyond my fears, from death into life. What a mouthful, that little phrase. And the reason I think it's so perfect is because I don't have any doubts about the shepherd. My doubts are about us, the sheep. We say we believe in the Good Shepherd. We have no problem saying the shepherd is the Lord. But what about allowing him to shepherd us? See, I know this is a fact because I sit in that confessional, I sit in my office, and I sit in my own heart. And when times get tough, many people don't trust in the Good Shepherd. They don't. They despair, they fall apart. And I think that Marty Hagen grabs this phrase musically to say why it is so. Shepherd me, O God, beyond my wants. Our wants are huge. Most people want what they want when they want it, and it's usually now. That's why we have In-N-Out Burger. Give it to me now. I don't want 10 minutes. I want to drive in and drive out and have my hamburger in my hand. That's the way that we think. Shepherd me, O God. Please, give me the hamburger. But our wants are many. Some of them are good. I don't want to have diabetes anymore. I don't want cancer anymore. I don't want to live in a car anymore. I want to have enough to feed my children. I want to have enough to be able to finish my education and get a good job. They're good wants. And we want what we want when we want it. But my question would be, when we don't get our want, do we fall apart, or do we ask the shepherd, the Good Shepherd, to shepherd us? I'll tell you one of my wants. I want to fly, and I don't mean in an airplane. I have these dreams. I haven't had one for a long time, but I had dreams where I could fly, and I'm like this, going over the earth and everything. And psychologists give you reasons for it. I don't know what it is. You want detachment or something. I don't know what it is. But I always loved those dreams. And I never thought for a second I'd fall down from the sky. I could just fly over everything. I want it. I ain't going to get it. But that's kind of a nonsensical one. What about the good wants? And where do those wants come from? Some people want a lot of money. It means security to them. Some people want a lot of fame. It's a different security for them. Some people want a lot of power. They're just nuts. There's a lot of wants that people have, and they fall apart in their lives when they don't get them. So we sing out, Shepherd me, O God, beyond my wants. Take me beyond my wants. And when I don't get what I want when I want it, shepherd me beyond that, so I will discover what I can find. Worse than the wants are the fears. Dear God, we all have fears, but some of us have choking fears. I say, like a dog is supposed to wag its tail, that's normal, but what if the tail sits still and wags the dog? Oh, you got a problem. We all got fears, but when the fear grips us and controls us, then our lives are a mess. Now, we can go in and out of these gripping fears, after the death of a loved one or whatever, but we can't function very well if we live gripped by fear. Shepherd me, O God, beyond my fears, through my fears, to find the way. You're the Good Shepherd. You can do it. But it does require some trust on our part and some real prayerfulness. Shepherd me, O God. I know you can take me beyond my fears. And then finally, he says the final description of that is the biggest fear of death. And we can be gripped by that fear, and he says we must trust that the shepherd will walk us through the valley of darkness. We will fear no evil because he will be at our side. He'll take us by the hand and walk us through death. Just Friday, I got a call to go to San Pedro to anoint somebody. Now, the fact that there's 3 Catholic churches in San Pedro, I'm thinking, oh my God. However, this was the son-in-law of a friend of mine from Wilmington with my 3rd parish, so I had to go. I knew I had to go, and I did. And what I found when I got there was an unconscious man. His wife and 2 sons and the daughter were there, and they were rather peaceful. This had been coming some time. And so I told them, as I tell everyone, especially when someone's in a kind of an unconscious state, I'm going to speak to him as if he's perfectly conscious, because who knows if he can hear. He can't respond, but who knows if anything goes in that he can hear. And besides, on this different spiritual level, who knows what can happen. This is where we trust. So I told him, Richard, and I said, I'm going to lay hands on you because blah, 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 this reason. I'm going to put an ointment of oil on your head and hands because of blah, 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 explained it. And I said, and I truly believe, Richard, that God is going to heal you. Physically, I don't know. And to be quite frank, in 38 years of priesthood, I've never anointed someone in this condition they've jumped out of bed. Ever. I see it on TV. It's Hollywood, I think, but I've never seen it. But I've almost always seen healing. Now, when a person is completely unconscious, I have to admit I don't see anything happen. But with even the slightest consciousness, I see a lot of signs. Sometimes a single tear will fall out and sit on the cheek. Something has just happened. Or sometimes I go to anoint the hand and they'll grab my hand and just squeeze and hold on. And they're saying something about holding on to something that will give them whatever it is that they need right then. The best one for me is when I see their face and their body clenched because of pain or worry or fear, and then anoint them and they've received Christ and they believe they've received Christ and the Spirit of God, and they relax. Even their face muscles sometimes just relax. And then the crowning is when they just smile in peace. And most of the time they just close their eyes and a smile comes. And I say, something wonderful has just happened. The Good Shepherd has been here to shepherd them beyond their fears, even from death into life. It's extraordinary. Today, I think this whole wonderful feast, every year we celebrate on the 4th Sunday of Easter, is to call us to a recognition, not so much of the Good Shepherd. I think we believe in that, but to recognize there's something we need to do on our part to surrender to that Good Shepherd. And Marty Hagen captures it well. Shepherd me, O God, beyond my wants, beyond my fears, from death into life. Like I said at the last Mass, I should end here. I really should end here, but I can't help myself. You heard in the introduction, this is also Vocation Sunday, and we usually go right to priesthood. And in one level we should, because we do need priests. When I was ordained 38 years ago, I think there were 3 million Catholics in Los Angeles. Now there's over 5 million. There were double the number of priests, now half of it. There are many churches that don't have a priest running the parish. A layperson or a deacon or a sister runs the parish, and then they get priests to come in, like Father Chris comes in every Sunday for one Mass for us. The day will come, I believe, when St. Bernard will not have a priest. Believe you me, it's coming. It is coming. And I want to be here to hear you start complaining. I want to be here because I have a response for you. I'm going to pull out a mirror and put it right in front of your face. I'm going to say, it's your fault. Don't talk to me. I hear people say, Father, we need priests. We need more priests. I say, what about your son? Not my son. I want grandchildren. Get another son. Everyone's very generous with other people's sons, but their own son, forget it. Well, when we don't have him, blame yourselves. I don't have any kids. If I did, I encourage my sons. Consider priesthood. I'll tell you why. Because I say that I experience the deepest joy out of my priesthood. I really do. I would do it again in an instant. Because it's taught me something incredible. Albert Schweitzer says the same thing, but it's taught me by experience that serving is an incredible gift. to be able to serve. There is another one I'd love, but it won't happen. If I couldn't be a priest, I'd like to be a conductor of, well, the LA Philharmonic or something comparable. I just went to a concert the other night, Stravinsky, and watched the Esa-Pekka Salonen, and I just weep, and I say, I want that job. Oh, wow, to call that unity of sound, that glorious sound of beauty, oh, how extraordinary. That's not a job. That's not a job, that's a joy. But on a much less exalted plane, if I couldn't be a priest anymore, I wouldn't mind being a waiter in a restaurant. I'll tell you why. Watch this. Madam, what would you like most of all right now if you could have it? What could I serve you? Soup? What kind? Chicken soup. Tell me some ingredients you want so that really the flavor comes out. Just good chicken, huh? And that will make you happy? See the smile on that face. Amen. And I did that just with that. I'll be right back, madam. I'll come back. Here's your chicken soup. Here's a nice big spoon. Anything else? That's it. She's happy. She's content, and I did that. I was able to serve her. Service is extraordinary. I'll tell you, when you get to the center core of your heart, and it ain't easy to get there, usually through a spiritual journey, when you get there and you know what you want there, you will be content. There are enough people probably sitting right here in front of me right now who hate their jobs, but they got to make money. But I tell you, when you discover what you really want, it could be being a trash collector. You could say, I clean the city streets. There are fewer rodents because of me. Praise God, I'm wonderful. I'm the hottest trash collector in town. I'm the best. And I'm a girl, too. I mean, a woman trash, I've never seen one, but why not? And if that's what at the center of your heart you said, I cleaned the city, and that makes me proud. Extraordinary. Well, how are we going to get there? I think, forget the GPS and Waze, I was wrong. The Good Shepherd really has the power to help us. This Sunday, Good Shepherd Sunday, he wants to shepherd us beyond our wants, beyond our fears, from death into life, but he wants us all to also be shepherded in life, to find the joy, the peace, the grace, the gifts, the Spirit that Jesus wants to give in super abundance.